right. Hey guys, how's it going? Getting Facebook going here. All right, accounts, YouTube, reconnect. There we go. Yay. All right. Looks like that's working. What's up, Mortar? What's up, Moon Mix? All right. Yay, Warble. Yeah, we're gonna do a Warble today. Yep, Neil did one. He did one based on kind of this hamster thing, and it was really funny, and it gave me an idea. So, what's up, me? How's it going, everybody? So, I had a good friend of mine, Adam Manoa, sketch this guy up. He's kind of like just a gremlin in the machine, you know, like one of those little things. I thought that's kind of what a Warble would look like, something that would, like, you know, try and destroy your model. So, hey, over on Facebook, what's up, David? All right. Hey, what's up, Michael? Okay, so, yeah, let's get going on this guy. I figured I was going to do another Halloween one, but I figured this kind of crosses two lines as far as, like, it's kind of a monster, so he's kind of Halloweenish, you know? Kind of a goblinish. So, yeah, thanks, Moonmix. Yep, that's Adam and Noah's stuff. All right. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna block this guy out just like I normally block my characters out. And to evaluate this, what I typically either start with the head or start with the pelvis. So yeah, Facebook chat is working. It's going pretty good. So if you look at this, kind of this shape for his pelvis, it's about like that. And then we have, like, his rib cage would go clear up here and down like this. That's about the size ratio. So hey everybody, how's it going? All right, and then if you look at his head, kind of his upper cranium shape is really small, like this. And then his lower jaw is just massive. My other friend, trying to remember his name, he's also Adam, Adam Ford. He calls this the teacup design, like a teacup sitting in there. Hey, what's up, Sean? Heard word. I have a question. How can my imported textures stay in the project after restarting? To re-import it is always a pain. Are you talking about for reference like this? Because it won't, for reference, it won't stay with the project. But your textures, if you have textures applied to your character, they should stick around in either a Z tool or a Z project. They should stay there. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but for reference, I reload them every time. Yes, it's a major pain in the butt. All right, and thanks, Neil, for posting those over on Facebook. Okay, so I tend to always subdivide this first sphere because it's really low, and I like to just subdivide it once. So I'll just hit Control D, and then oh hey, thanks, Caitlin. It's an Adam Manoa design. Adam Manoa. Neil/Mordecai is putting the links in the description there. Okay, then I'll delete lower. So this is the new resolution. I'll start with that. How do you toggle your custom menu? I assign it to the number 2 on my keyboard, like this. And then I assign the number 2 to my back button on my pen. That way it'll pop up anywhere. So if you go over to 3D Character Workshop and you grab this user interface, it comes with my custom menu. And then it will show up right here, 3D Character Workshop, this menu right up on the top left right here. And if you hold Control Alt click on that, see it says press any key to give it a hotkey, and that's when you press the number 2. So yep, a lot of people use pure ref. I just like to have it in ZBrush because I like to color pick off of it. And you can't do that with pure ref. Also, I love to use the opacity and kind of compare my model and drag it underneath the image. I'm not sure you can do that with pure ref, but that's why I typically like to actually have it inside of ZBrush. Okay, let's get going here. Oh, thanks, Kat. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I do like to work with wireframe on when I do this stuff. What's up, Attentive Slug? Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going to do another quad sphere on the top here. Okay, where in the world? Okay. Sometimes my when I hit shift to snap, it just throws my object some weird way, and I don't know why. Even though the gizmo is just straight and it's just centered, I don't understand why. Sometimes it'll just do its own thing. So let me turn symmetry on. There we go. That'll work. So when you subdivided, did you hit the delete lower? Yes. I haven't hit dynamic yet. It's still not dynamic. But yes, I will eventually do that. Hey, are you Mirimalo? I don't know how to say your name. Mirimiolo? Are you in my course right now? I only have a Facebook group. Well, I've closed the Facebook group. Not closed it. I've moved the internal student community over to Google Plus for now, but you might have heard it's shutting down, so I have to figure out a different solution. And that's been a pain in my butt. Just the community. The community has been fantastic. I love the community, but just finding one for everyone where everybody lives is just kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, let's see. I need to turn on my ruler just to make sure I'm building. I know which direction the front is. Oh, you enrolled? Yeah, I'm not doing the Facebook group anymore right now. So, but you should have gotten an email that tells you how to join the community. And if not, just inside the course, go to community on the very, very top, and you can get in that way. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's good. We're good. All right. Where else? Okay. Just making sure I have everything. Yeah, Dan, Discord is more like a voice chat and a chat group thing. It's less like a community or a forum. I have looked into that. But basically what's going to happen is, sorry, I'm yapping already today, but basically what's going to happen is the people who host my course are working on an internal community, and that's going to be released before the end of the year, hopefully. And as soon as that rolls out, I'm just going to roll over to that, because then I can hook it up with my course and yeah, just integrate it way more. So it's a single login. It's all in one place. Going to be awesome. Hey, Robert. Yes, I am going to go to CTN. I will be there. So I don't know if you guys saw, but why is my mind blank today? My mind's totally blank. But Bobby Chu with Schoolism is starting a new expo in California, Pasadena, California, in September of next year called Lightbox. So it looks like I might be going to that rather than CTN next year, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to make the whole bust, I'm going to make the whole character. Yep. So this red sphere is his pelvis. The green one is his rib cage. And now I'm going to just kind of work out like his legs and his arms and where they're going to be. It's going to be an interesting challenge. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Yeah, total control. I'll have it's pretty interesting because I'm looking forward to being able to gamify it a little bit. And that'll be fun. I don't know how far I can take that. This will be the arms. Hey, Abram. Does my process change if I have a turnaround to use? I typically don't like turnarounds because then you're asking the concept artist to break down his own model, and it becomes kind of dead, and it basically looks cold and like not alive. It doesn't look dead. It just looks like stiff. I'd rather have a 3/4 pose like this, because then I can try and capture the essence of the character rather than, you know, a lot of, and I hate to say it, but a lot of times the concept artists will have to kind of redesign their character, and they'll often get it wrong because they're just drawing it in 2 dimensions. And so when you're trying to match the side and front profiles, a lot of times you'll be fighting with it because it's wrong, and you'll be fighting with, like, it doesn't, the result of matching the side and the front does not match the 3/4 view character. There's different ways of doing things when you're actually sculpting that doesn't quite match up when you're doing a side and front profile. So I actually ask the concept artist not to do a side and a front. I would rather get them to give me feedback on my sculpt after I've gotten to a certain point. That's how I like to work personally, but okay. Let's see. And a lot of concept artists love that because it means less work for them, right? Okay, I'm gonna try, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, my brain and my tongue are not coordinated. I have such a hard time sometimes, like trying to remember names and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it's old age or my art brain or what. I'll just blame my art brain. Oh, you love the microphone. Thanks. Yeah, it's I can't remember the brand. It's just a lav mic, but it works the best because I can move around and I don't have to stick my face in a microphone like this guy right here. This thing. This is what I use to record my my lessons with. So I have to be up on it like a DJ, like this, and it's in the way of what I'm doing. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so I just got a lav mic instead. Whoops. Ugh. And it's pretty cheap, the lav mic. I just got it from Amazon. It's purple something. I don't know. Yeah, the other mic, it's like super pro mic, right? And it sounds good, but it makes my voice more boomy, like deeper, like I need a deeper voice. I think it's kind of distracting a little bit, but okay. I'm just gonna kind of get those into place, and I'll probably adjust them later. Spinning some subdivs. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Lav, like L-A-V, like violin, lav. Yeah. I'm not sure what that stands for, honestly. Lavalier. I know it stands for lavalier, but what's a lavalier, you know? What's a lavalier? Who knows? I don't know why they say that. His T-pose is going to be strange, but because his legs are so bent. I might bend him back out after, but I want to get him kind of close to this. Let's see. Lapel mic? No, it's not L-A-P. It's L-A-V. Lavalier. Okay, hold on. So, Kristinelle, what character is that? So, yeah, it was Purple Panda. I think it was, yeah. Yep, it's really good. It's not very much. Yep, Purple Panda. It's really great. So this character is, so Neil, aka Mordekainer, I believe. Is that right, Neil? Is, he's been working on the side. He's been making a character called a Warble that's kind of like, he just had this idea of it's kind of a, what are they called? What is it called? Those little like furry creatures. Seriously, my brain is not connected to my mouth today. What is it? Like a gerbil. Kind of like a gerbil with a 3D Character Workshop shirt on. And he's calling it a Warble. And it gave me an idea of creating my own guinea pig. Thanks, Moonmix. Neil, is Mortar Cunner you? Is that, do I have that correct? Tribbles. They're kind of like tribbles. There we go. T-pose done. Oh, geez. Hey, what's up, fat son? How's it going, man? You're Neil Moonmix? Okay, gosh dang it. I'm sorry. Okay, I knew that. I knew that. There you go. Frog legs. Sorry, Moonmix, for that. Gotta use your real names on your call-outs, like Shane Olson Art. You know who I am. Oh, really, Tim DeMat? Okay, thanks, man. It's like the you're like the guy from Cheers. Like Norm from Cheers. So, you know, the term lavalier was in... Thanks, Tim. Okay. Let's see. Joyce over on Facebook asks, what kind of keyboard do I use, or are you using the remote control of your Cintiq? I'm actually using an Alienware keyboard. I can't pull it out to show you, can I? Just this. It's old. It's way old. It's just a regular keyboard. I'm not using the remote. Okay. I need to fix up these proportions here. Make his knees bend more forward in space. Okay. You don't like using Z-spheres to build a base? No. Any particular reason? Because this method is way more editable. Like I can edit the shapes, the simple shapes, and I can work on the silhouette at the same time that I'm blocking them out. With Z-spheres, I'm kind of limited to spheres with tubes connecting them. So this is my preferred method. I just like to keep it more editable. And since these shapes are separate, I can do this, right? I can move it however I want and put it however I want. So, yep, my insert multi-mesh brush, which is this right here. That's what Sean is talking about, IMMs. You can't really have it. Well, I'm not going to sit and argue with. If you like Z-spheres, do Z-spheres, you know. But I really like this method. What you can't do with Z-spheres is you can't squash them in space. They're just spheres, you know. So spheres with tubes. So basically like this, for example. I don't know how to use them. All right. So essentially, you can't do this. You can squash them. You can't squash them. Yeah, I know you can have a skin on top, but the skin is not very, it's not very predictable. This is very, very predictable. Yeah. Anyway. But if you're a fan of Z-spheres, do it. There's a billion different ways to do things. This is just my way, and this is the way I like to, not my way, but this is the way I like to do things. So. Okay. I'm gonna get his head on the top. That's not what I want. Hey, what's up, Night Shadow? Yeah, I still use Z-spheres for certain things. For example, like glasses, like rims around glasses. I love using them for those. No worries, Doug. No worries at all. I used to use Z-spheres a lot until I figured out this method. So no worries. All right. Gonna make this big for his lower jaw. Now, this is where I'm going to kind of differentiate from Adam's design here, because his neck isn't very animatable how it is right now. I mean, he would have to kind of turn in space like this to look. I mean, his head could kind of tilt a little bit, but I want to kind of give him more of a neck in there, just a little bit. So that's a kind of a difference that I'm going to change in his design, just slightly. Oh yeah, a little bit. It'd be cool if he's standing around a bunch of pumpkins. Yeah, that would look pretty good. No neck. Yeah, no neck. Okay, I'm actually gonna put him in this leaning over state though. Night Shadow, I don't know if I'll be updating that frog tutorial anytime soon, but thanks. Yeah, that's kind of retired almost. Okay. I'm going to put one more sphere between these two. And then let's bend his legs forward. I don't know why I mask and then invert my mask sometimes. It's just a habit, I guess. So Sean, he will eventually. I'm actually going to bring this guy all the way to rigging if I can help it. Hey Sean, no worries, no worries. Sean over on Facebook, thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it. Look at this. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I'm not during the stream though. I won't bring him to animation ready during the stream because it involves other software, and this is a Pixelogic channel, and I pretty much only stream on Pixelogic's channel at this time. So I'll be doing that off camera, that part of it. Yeah, just for my course. I'll probably make a little example out of it as for some more course content. Hey Gary, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Oh, Fat Son, you did? Yeah, a lot of people really like that frog course. It was just, you know, something. Night Shadow. So it's funny you say that because that was part of my direction that I gave Adam when I asked him to concept this up. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, hey, you know, kind of like Jack when he turns into that little devil. So it's funny you say that because that was a huge inspiration for it. Oh, Zwak. Oh, that bird. Oh, the bird. That's good, but the bird is probably not my favorite. That was rushed, very rushed. So was the scientist. And they're kind of outdated as far as like my techniques. Those are done. I can't remember when I did those. It's been a while. Oh, come on. Why aren't you moving? Okay, where did my... Hold on, something's going on. Something stopped working. I might have to restart my ZBrush. Let's save this as Warble. So this is a Warble. So the concept artist is Adam and Noah. Yeah, my buddy Adam and Noah. He's also here in Utah. Okay, see how my menu is not... Oh, there it goes. Okay. I just had it closed. I accidentally tapped on this top and it closed it. Okay, so let's see if we can get it moving again. Is there oh, that's why. Okay, sometimes there's a mask will get put on there and you can't see it and you're like, why? Why is my stuff not moving anymore? Somehow I put a mask on there. Oh, thanks, ZWAC. I really try to do that. Hey, Daniel. Hola. Adam and Noah? No. Adam. So this is his last name right here. M-U-N-O-A. Adam Munoa. Hey, Brian. Yeah, turkey sandwiches. Nice. Dude, I love your little Halloween babies. Those are great. Super cool. So Brian Beatty is over on Facebook. You can see it in the chat there. He did a presentation at the ZBrush Summit last year, I think. Was it last year, Brian? Yeah, super great. Really good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, and if I miss your question, just post it again. Chat's kind of flying by. Okay. Let's get the feet in there. Let's see. And occasionally, like at this point, you'll notice that the objects are becoming different densities because of what I choose, you know, between the spheres and the appendages and things like that. So like his chest is pretty low and his pelvis is pretty high. So what I like to do sometime around this point is Zremesh everything. So what I can do is just go over here. Zremesher, I like to go really low, like even 0.1, and just hit it and see what it does. That's too low. Let's go to about, maybe try 1. That's still low. So you just got to keep testing this because it's pretty fast at this point. There we go. That's pretty good. So now they're all the same density. You know, I found that the Remesh by Zremesher. So Sean's talking about this. Under the Gizmo, if you click on the gear, there's this thing called Remesh by Zremesher. And it's great until you want to do something like keep groups. It will ignore that. And I don't know why. I need to ask the Pixelogic peeps why it ignores it. But and you also, in order to use that, you need to have your Gizmo at home base. Like Alt, click on this home button and then click on this round arrow to get that to work. And then you click on here, Remesh by Zremesher, like this. Yeah, and then you have to pull this cone out to get symmetry. Then you pull this cone out to get your density. So this was about a 3,000. So if I let go, see, it's about the same. Didn't really do much different to it. Anyway, then you just click on the gear again and hit accept. We're good to go. So it doesn't actually. Zofo, I tried it and it didn't work. Maybe I was missing something. Yeah, and then you have to turn symmetry back on because it'll kill your symmetry. You have to remember. Thanks, Neil. So anyway, So I had keep groups set over here, and then I used keep groups on the Zremesher, and it ignored it for some reason. I don't know. Is there a shortcut to the center of the gizmo without hitting the icon? A lot of times it's off in space. Yeah, Dan. So what you can do is essentially if it's out here and you're like zoomed up and you're like, where in the crap is my gizmo? Just hold down Alt and tap on the surface and it'll just come back. So that's kind of, it'll orient itself to the normals of the surface of the object. So I'm just holding down Alt and clicking on the object. And if you hold down Control, it will mask it off and move it. So that's the difference. Alt will just move it, and Control plus, or just Control and tap will actually mask it off. I just saw that, Moonmix. All right, thanks, man. Then I won't get you confused. Oh, geez. How to hide these shapes? You just hold Control plus Shift and tap on. It's best if you tap on a dot, like a vertice. See that little white dot? Tap on that, and it'll isolate that object, and then tap on it again while holding down Control and Shift, and it will invert that, what's hidden. And then you can just hit Control plus Shift and tap on the background, it'll come back. Let's see. Do I use Sculptris Pro in my workflow? I do, eventually. So I will when I get up into his face, up in here. All right. So you can give a hotkey, that's super handy. Daniel, I wish I knew Spanish. I apologize. Okay. All right. I need to get some more of this done. Then I'll answer some more of your questions. Okay. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this guy like crazy. He's got clown feet. Nothing wrong with that. Clown feet. Give him some big heels. I love how far these heels go back. Give him some of that counterbalance. And then the thickness of his feet are very thin. I'm going to use Clip Curve and trim that right down, and then it makes it a little too flat, so I'm going to go in here and smooth out the edges. Okay, and then these toes, I'm going to bring this back because that's pretty much where the toes would be. Tom, it is, but it isn't. I mean, I try and stick with the same process. Well, recently I added, I changed it up a little bit because I'm always looking for the fastest, easiest way to go that allows me to get to the art and not let the tech get in the way. So that's kind of why I've adapted the dynamic subdivisions with the remesh by union lately, which that's a lesson I'm almost done with. Well, I'm actually doing three new lessons for my course talking about that. Toes. Everybody loves toes. Yeah, I'll do the retop UVs and everything for this guy, and then get him animated. I want to have him chewing on some geometry, like creating the warbles, like going, making the geometry have lumps and bumps in it, because he's a warble. Nobody likes warbles. Right. Let's see. Oh, hey, Craig. Looking good so far. Been looking for a while here. Stream went live. Oh, thanks, Craig. Yeah, the Dracula I just pushed a key shot. Okay. And with toes, I like to kind of just drag them and then make them blend in with the foot. Yeah, get them 3D printed. That would be fun. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to invert this. So when you duplicate an object by holding down Control and grabbing the move on the gizmo, that's how you duplicate something. Here, I'll do it again so you can see it. So since this toe is the only thing that's masked or unmasked, what you can do is hold down Control, grab this arrow and drag it to the side, and it will duplicate it, right? But you'll notice it puts it in the exact same poly group when you do that. So I want it in its own poly group, the pair of them. So what I'll do is invert that mask and then hit Control W, and it will put it into its new poly group. Oh, thanks, Sean. Let's see. Gao says, can you describe in short the process of making a colorful 3D printing? I heard that repaint with acrylic colors, or so you can end up badly and never close to the quality of the model in the computer. Yeah, that's typically how you do it. You can paint them like a I don't know if you're familiar with Warhammer, you know, those little figurines. It's essentially the same thing as that. You just find some really nice acrylic paints and paint them that way. But when it comes to like mass manufacturing for like these Disney characters and stuff like that, they're actually molded in the colors for the most part, and then they'll come in with stamps and very, very nice sable brushes and things, and use a paint that's going to, you know, last longer than acrylic, and they'll go in there and actually mass manufacture those. But the little details like eyeballs and things like that, like the irises, they're actually stamps, and they'll put the figurine in this jig, and it'll come down and stamp the eyeballs, and so it can be consistent. And then let's see, what else was I trying to say? And then, but you can also print in color. There are color printers that work with inkjet. But the problem with those printers, and that's, if you watch Polygon's streams, I think I can't remember when he's streaming next, but he loves to print his stuff in color. And it turns out really nice, but the problem is it kind of looks like a cake topper made of sugar. Like that's the texture of the surface of the colored printers. They're really nice, but they have kind of this weird texture to them. And I'm not a huge fan of that texture. But it's coming along, you know, a lot farther than it had been. It used to look a lot worse than it does now. It's gotten smoother. So, oh yeah, I'm in just streamed right before me. Did he say how? I'm not sure how to center it. Basically, all I do with the gizmo to center it is I hold down Alt and tap on this little house, and it centers it in the entire object. Or if you have something masked, like say you mask this toe, you can also hold down Alt and click this little Google Maps icon, and it will center the gizmo in the middle of whatever objects you have unmasked. Then you can notice how my gizmo is all kind of wonky. You just hold down Alt and hit the circle to straighten it up. They look very slick. I'll have to talk to him. Yeah, I love Glenn Southern. He's awesome. He's always pushing the envelope, that guy. Okay, let's get going. So invert, Control W to put it in its own group. And now I'm going to shrink these toes a little bit. I want to make them so they're not straight across. kind of, I want them to aim out like this a little bit. Same with this foot, just bring it in, make it more foot shaped. Oh, you have to hold down Alt to hit home. If you only want to move the gizmo, you have to hold Alt. If you hit the house without holding Alt, it'll move everything. Fast on my 3D prints, after I do the cleanup, I go over it with a product called XT. Oh, that gets rid of the really smooth, and then airbrush your stuff. Yep. Awesome. Oh, you guys, I don't know if you've seen this. I actually have my last 3D print from the here, let me go full screen for a second. Whoop. So check this out. This is from the ZBrush Summit. My friend Steven Anderson keyed it for me, and then Formlabs printed it out and had it at their table at the show. Yeah, it turned out pretty cool. But it's starting to lean a little bit. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go back to regular. Yeah, he turned out great. I love how all the details came out. But yeah, my friend Jake, he really he works for Formlabs, and he did a fantastic job printing that out. Steven did a great job keying it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna paint it myself at some point when I get time. Thanks, guys. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Just spread these toes out. They're a little small compared to the rest of them. See how big his toes are? They're gigantic. So I'm gonna have to come in there and just really get them big. Okay, but for now, let's go back up and work on the hands just to get those into place. Let's see. Yeah, Art. I've been playing the heck out of Red Dead, by the way. I love that game, Red Dead 2. It's so good. Okay. I like to make the forearm kind of wrap up around. Oh, I'm using Move Elastic. Okay. Lucas, did I use Dynamesh any moment of the workflow? Are you talking about with the cowboy? I typically use Dynamesh when I want it to be watertight for printing. So it'll combine all the pieces together. Yes. Oh, Tenchi, yeah, just you're in the course, are you? If you want, just send me an email and let me know what you're getting hung up on. Okay. Yeah, just send, or you can even send an email to support@3dcharacterworkshop.com. That still gets to me. All right. I'm just kind of editing this as I go. What kind of paint? Just acrylics, you know, just kind of those. I like the Warhammer paints because they're a little thinner, and you know, just the mixture is a little better, and they also work well in an airbrush. So, hey, Caitlin, are you still in here? Caitlin does a lot of painting of her own prints. She does a fantastic job. So I was just going to ask you, Caitlin, if you're still in here, what paints do you like to use? Yeah, awesome. So art, I'm setting them in this position just because it's closer to the concept. And eventually I might stretch them out to get them into more of a neutral pose. But it's kind of hard for me to compare and contrast the legs when they're in that dynamic of a position. So I'll block them out in that tighter, you know, crouched pose, and then I'll pull them apart later. It's a good question. Good question. And because right now I can't really tell, his arms are feeling very, very long to me. And I do want them long, but typically your hands will meet at mid-thigh. So I want to make sure his arms are kind of in proportion to that. But I can't do that until I straighten the legs out to see it, you know. But right now, just they're kind of feeling a bit long. Hey, what's up, Adam? Hey, Adam's in the house. He's over on Facebook. I'm just blocking this guy out. Everybody loves this concept, man. Great job. Thank you so much. So mainly Vallejo, but I do use the odd Citadel paint. Oh yeah, so Citadels are typically for using, for painting the little miniatures for like D&D and stuff, right? Warhammer stuff. Oh, your digital painting class is watching? Oh, put me on the spot, man. Hello, class. That's awesome. So, and then you lacquer it with a Citadel clear. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the paints from Reaper Miniatures. Yep. They adhere really well to Formlab resins. That's good to know. Okay, let's see. Now, I'm putting his arms kind of forward like this for a second, and then I'll spin him after I get it blocked out. Hey Adam, they're asking what medium is the concept art done in? I believe it's digital, but Adam, what do you like to use to do your concepts? Okay. Okay, let's see. Lock in his thumb, maybe his finger. What did I do? Sometimes if you have the Gizmo selected and you select an insert multi-mesh, it's going to actually replace whatever you have selected with that new insert multi-mesh. That's what happened there. So you have to hide the Gizmo first before you select an appendage. They all said hi. Hi. Make his middle finger first. But you need to flip it around. That's awesome, Adam. Adam teaches at a local college here in Utah. Pixels? So what are you saying? Oh, the link doesn't work? To which one? Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I will put them into two. Oh, you Photoshop and Procreate. Awesome. Thanks. That's what Adam uses. Let's see here. I almost want to buy an iPad just for Procreate. That looks super cool. Thanks, Neil, for being Johnny on the spot with the links. Yeah, Adam, if you want to post some of your stuff in Facebook, your links to your social medias, feel free, man. Neil's been doing a good job over on Twitch and whatnot. Okay. I want this one pretty skinny. There we go, that's better. Hey Nin, yeah, I'll get to that point eventually. This is just the block out stage, so I'm just trying to get everything in place, and then I'll go back and really edit things. But right now he's in kind of a half and half state. He's in half of the pose in the concept, and the other half I want to animate him eventually. So he's sort of stretched out a little bit longer, so I can get him animation ready. I'm just making him flipping the bird right now. Just a single-fingered dude. I like to keep the tops of my fingers a little flatter than the bottoms. And then flowing into that hand. Make that hand a little flatter. Affinity Photo. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Photoshop for iPad. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Now that we have this. Ooh. It's not what I wanted. Come on. Okay. Basically, now that I have that single finger, I can duplicate it. Put it into place. Shrink it a little bit. All right, Adam. Thanks for stopping by, man. If you're still here, sorry I didn't see that. Thanks again, man. Let's see. Okay. These are about the size the toes need to be. I just want one of these for the thumb. Whoop, looks like I masked off a little, got caught in the mask and was dragging it out. There we go. It's a little too far. Then the thumb I usually drop down below and bend it more towards the inside and rotate it like this. Just look at your thumb. That's kind of the angle it's on from your wrist down if you're like this. Okay. Something like that, but I'm sure we'll tweak it some more later. Okay, now let's, after I get the fingers in place, that's when I come in and I try to edit the hand shape itself. So are any of you guys going to CTN this year? Hey Neil, well, this is kind of a project, but not really. This will take me more than one stream for sure. So he'll be a mini. He'll be a mini project to get him. Does that keyboard overlay appear on your screen, or does it only show to us streamers? It only shows to you guys. Is it in the way? Should I move up here? I'll move up here and do it more if it's in the way. So you can see when I'm pushing buttons. It's Noah keyboard is what it's called. Sounds like Adam Manoa keyboard. It's NOH keyboard. That's what basically you can hover a keyboard over it, and then I green screen out the background to it. Oh yeah, yep, that's what it's for. Okay, I'm gonna invert this mask and push this down in. So VMate, would you say you built it from spheres with divide, no Dynamesh, and no Sculptus Pro? Correct. Yep. I will usually turn on Dynamesh or dynamic subdivisions like this just to make it smoother. But I need to make his feet a lot bigger. Now, let's see. Okay. Again, I don't know why I do it that way. It's like mask to remask. Just gonna put this here. And I really want to make his feet bigger. And stumpier. There we go. And let's turn them out this way. Looks like it shaved off the fronts of the toes for some reason. I'll have to fix that. Hey Kagri, let's see. Can you share some tips for modeling bandage wrappings? It is too hard to do with a single piece of strip, but otherwise it does not look good. Okay, so a little trick that you can do with bandages, if it's wrapping like a whole bunch of times all the way down an arm or something like that, what you can do, and it's kind of hard to do sometimes, but what you can do is you can get, sometimes Zremesher will make a spiral down an arm. And if you can get it to do that spiral, then you can use that spiral as a bandage. And then you just kind of cut that line, the loop, all the way down. That's the way I've done it in the past, but trying to get Zremesher to actually spiral can sometimes be difficult. And what you do to do that is you just kind of lay it on its side and try and get it to spiral. Let's see. Another way I've done it before is just to use just a whole bunch of strips and just keep them single-sided while you're editing them, and then overlap them and rescale them and put them in all different positions so it looks like one giant piece when it's actually not. It's just a whole bunch of little strips, so you can do that. Don't add thickness until the very, very end, and sometimes it's a little better. Let's see. So, Meberry, how are you going to create his mouth using ZModeler or some other trick? Yep, just ZModeler, or not ZModeler. I'm probably just going to push it in and then Zremesh it. So let's see. One more silly question. I notice you're using a Cintiq, but if you ever use Intuos Pros, does it has something really worth the money to spend more than the Intuos? It's honestly, the only thing that matters is that you have something with pressure sensitivity. It doesn't have to be a Cintiq, it doesn't have to be an Intuos. The pressure sensitivity doesn't matter. I've been using like the old ones forever in ZBrush. It just matters that it has pressure sensitivity at all. It doesn't matter. So just don't sculpt with a mouse, because a mouse does not have pressure sensitivity. That's the only thing. Otherwise, just get the best tablet you can afford. You know, it doesn't have to be an expensive tablet. It just has to be a tablet of some sort with pressure sensitivity. This is overkill for me because it speeds up my workflow. That's how it pays for itself. Yes, it will have a movable jaw. Yes, it will have a mouse sack. Yep, it will get there. I'll show you. I'll show you when I get there. Okay. Hey, Jai John, how's it going? Okay. Now I'm gonna rotate his hands so they're facing down. Now, Well, let me do this. There we go. Okay. To me, I've been able to make straight lines only on the Cintiq. Yeah, it helps with that for sure. It totally helps with. Cintiqs help with just drawing the lines that you want like one time. With tablets, it's a little harder. One thing you can do is turn on lazy mouse on any brush. So it doesn't matter which brush you have, like this detail brush or something, this pinch brush. You'll see I have lazy mouse pulled out onto my user interface, which is right here. See, it says lazy mouse. And then this lazy radius. The way I like to describe it, it's kind of like dragging a rock through sand on a string, right? So if you're going to try and draw a straight line in the sand, just using like a rock with your hand, it's going to be a lot harder to drag it through the sand to make a straight line. But if you're dragging it on a long string through the sand from one location, it's going to be a lot easier to make a straight line. And that's essentially what lazy mouse is, and that's what it does. So if I crank, let's see, let's unhide this. And if I drag it along here, see that little red line that's following along behind my brush? See that little red line? That's the string that you're dragging through the sand, okay? And if you want it longer, you just increase this lazy radius. Then your string will be a lot longer as it drags. And that will help you get straight lines with a tablet much easier, if that helps. Lazy Radius is your nickname? Nice. My nickname in high school. Okay. There we go. I'm liking this guy. His arms are just looking crazy long now. So this is why I like to use primitives, because it's very editable as I go. Okay, let's, what am I doing? Just kind of shrinking these arms up a little bit more. Not the whole body. All right. There we go. Hey Sapphire, I commissioned I commissioned an artist friend of mine, a 2D artist friend of mine. His name is Adam Manoa, and this guy is pretty much. I wanted him to be a warble because I talk about warbles all the time, and warbles in the surface of your sculpts. And Neil, the guy who is posting all the links on here, he first did a warble that looked like a, what is it called again, Neil? The little rodent guy. Anyway, he made one that had like a 3D Character Workshop t-shirt on. I thought it was hilarious, but anyway, I just kind of wanted to come up with a warble on my own. I thought it was a good idea, so I commissioned Adam to draw one up for me. So this is a warble, my version of it. Guinea pig, thank you. Yeah, this is a warble. And I want to animate him like destroying a mesh eventually. I think it'd be funny. So that's the idea. Legs are pretty thin. I'm gonna save him where he's at. I'm liking where he's at. Okay, let's add these ears. I'll start working on the head here. And I am going to add a neck, give him a neck. That's a little different from the concept, just so he's easier to animate. Whoops. Oh, come on. What did I do? There we go. Okay. He's headless Warble. We're going to work on this head here. I got to remember to keep it up here and out of the keyboard. So, I mean, it doesn't affect it too much, but just trying to be awares. Okay. Pretty much, Amir. It's a good way to put it. Let's use this appendage brush to give him some ears. Dude, you're totally right. He's like, wah, wah. I kind of think of him like Stitch when Stitch is destroying stuff, you know? Yep, like, and then like chewing on it, just making all these lumps and bumps. Totally. All right, here we go with, let's do the transpose trick. I tend to do this transpose trick like once every stream, it seems like. If you don't know what this is, there's if you turn on the transpose line, which is turning off the gizmo right here, you can turn it to move, which is W, and then you grab this center white circle while holding Alt, and you can bend your mesh like this. Let's see. Lucas over on Facebook says, hey Shane, is there a way to measure things in ZBrush to make precise size Boolean holes and things for 3D printing purposes? That's a great question. There isn't a precise type in a number and this is the size that it is. There's not that inside of ZBrush. I wish there was, but the closest thing you can get is to actually setting up your transpose line, your scene, and everything to kind of match the numbers that you want. And I can show you really quick. Let me make this ear really fast, and then I will get back to that question because I'll show you my ruler file that I give away for free that might help you. Okay, I'm just going to use the snake hook brush. I said snake hook. That's like saying Beetlejuice. Ashley should be showing up any minute now. I wish she was here to hear that. All right, I'm going to switch back to my gizmo now that I'm done. Bend these ears back a little bit. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Snake hook brush, snake hook brush. Where is she? All right. I'm going to push in. See, here comes some warbles, making it warbly. Yep, A cubed. You have to say it 3 times. Did I say it 3 times? Snake hook brush. That's hilarious. She heard it. She's like, hears it in her head. It's like, snake hook. All right. Ashley's another streamer on here, and she loves the snake hook brush. All right. Something like that. I want the connection to be a little lower. Like that earlobe's really cool. And the change of direction in that ear is something I like too. Mortar. Sorry, I confused your identity, Mortar, with Neil earlier. Yeah, a snake hook only sculpt. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun challenge. changed my kind. I was going to study for my final, but I was like, what the? I'm not that bad influence. Come on. All right. I got to make that jawline. This is something a lot of beginner students get wrong, is they'll continue that jawline all the way around the back of the head. Your jawline ends here, right? I got to push it in because I'm an old guy and you can't see it, but it ends right at the bottom of your ears until your fat fills it up. Okay, and then he's got a really flat forehead. And then the eyes. Let's put the eyes in there. Oh man. You guys, hey, what's up, Peter over at YouTube? How's it going? Okay, where did I last leave my gizmo? There we go. Let's try it again. There we go. Something like that. All right. It's looking like a horse or something. I don't know what's going on. Well, I'm going to separate these out. Split unmask points. Oh, the mesh is partially hidden. Okay. Let's invert that. Invert it again. Some things don't work unless the whole thing is showing. Like split unmask points. Don't do it. Mortar, don't do it. Why would you do this? It's just cruel. Unkind. Okay. I'm going to save it. Then we're going to make that mouth interior really quick. Okay. So how do we make this mouth interior? Well, I'm just going to push it in. Sometimes I'll try and get tricky where I just use the Z modeler brush and try and extrude faces inside, you know, that kind of stuff. But sometimes it just works to just push it in. And it's going to look weird for a minute. But I'm just trying to get, because Zremesher, when you Zremesh, what it does is it follows the contours of the object. So if you have peaks and valleys, it's going to try and follow those peaks and valleys. I'm going to actually apply this dynamic subdivisions, just so I can get more density for me to push it in. Yeah. It basically just makes the subdivisions real. Because dynamic is just kind of a false thing. Okay, it's going to look really crazy for a minute. It's kind of looking like a Muppet, muppetmouth.com. I'm trying to decide how big I want it to go back here. Probably more. Trying to keep it smooth, but the warbles are coming. Go away. Okay, I think I'm just going to do that. Warble making warbles. Hey Yao, how's it going, man? Thanks. This was done by my buddy Adam Manoa. Yeah, it's the same guy that helped me out with that beginner walkthrough. Same dude. He's amazing. So in my course, I have a beginner walkthrough. Adam hadn't ever touched ZBrush before. So I wanted to sit down with him and record him while I was sitting over his shoulder. And he was going through all the motions of getting ZBrush working and kind of getting primitives in place like this, because I just wanted to get it set up that way. Okay, this works. All right. Now at this point, I'm going to, let's delete lower. I don't really have to, but, and I want to, well, before I do that, I'm going to duplicate this off. Duplicate, hide the original. You guys. Okay, you can see how the interior of his mouth getting all weird. So now this is a good spot to do Zremesh. So let's pull up our Gizmo and reset it by hitting this house in this circle, then grabbing Remesh by Zremesher. See, I'm going to try keep groups. I don't think it's going to keep groups, but we're going to try it. Okay, here we go. If it does, that'd be great. If I hit Shift F and Shift F again, you'll see the real topology. I don't know what that means. That just hides and shows the polyframe. Okay, here we go. I'm going to crank this up to, about 15,000. We'll see what happens. It might take a minute. When you first hit apply sub D, it only showed the old. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. I know what you're saying now. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. I like what that did there. Need to redo those toes. Okay. You can see how it put a ring around the mouth. See that? Because I just pushed it in. So that's pretty good. All right. Now I'm going to hit accept. And let's mess with these toes a little bit more. They're bugging. Okay, let's hide the foot so we can actually get in here and do some surgery. Yeah, refresh the mesh. So if you subdivide a couple times, it's going to smooth the mesh, but it's only going to show the lowest resolution of that subdivide before you subdivided it. And to actually see everything, you have to turn wireframe off and then back on again, and then it'll show you the correct density. This is true. Oh, thanks. Looking out for me, Uber. Thanks, man. Don't forget. Holy cow. We're at 278 people, you guys. I think that's a record for me. We're almost hitting 300. That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today. That's awesome. And that's between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So it tallies all the numbers up, everybody watching, and puts it up there. That's awesome. So this is what I see, you guys. This is my chat. See this chat thing right here? See the number? 285. So it's tallying up all of these. So 68 on YouTube, 165 on Twitch, 52 on Facebook. Very cool. So thanks, you guys. That's so cool. Okay. Let's go over 1,000, right? 1,000! All right. Now, you'll notice a couple things. His head isn't as low. I need to make it a little larger. And then I want to put a neck. I want to give him a neck. Okay, let's do the neck. What's up, me Barry? Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Okay, what is going on in this finger? Looks like we have a rogue little thing. Sometime, look at this little guy. What is that? We have some rogue geometry. Let's hide it and delete it. It's like, yeah, it's just hanging out, a little square, you know. I'll probably find it later, like where the hole that it came from is. But I'm going to delete it for now. A plastic pen with your name on, I wish. Okay, yep, a warble on the warble. So this is what he's looking like so far, and I will close that mouth in time. Let's give him a neck and make his head larger, shall we? Let's hide these bits. Give him a neck. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to... Hey, what's up, Martin? How you doing, man? Okay, so I'm going to... Thanks so much. Thanks, Martin. All right. Is it weird that I said that in... I said your comment in my head in your voice? Martin's from Belgium. Belgium? So he has a unique accent I love. All right, me Barry, thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. Yep, he'll get the tail. Okay, somebody was saying, was asking me about measuring. I can't forget. I think it was Lucas over on Facebook. So let me talk to you about that really fast. Okay, so over on my webpage, let me take a drink really quick. Hey, what's up, Carlos? Welcome, man. Okay. Oh, we've almost hit 300. 294. Go get your friends. Tell them to come watch. Okay. On my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com, I give away my brushes and my user interface and my ruler file. And the ruler file is what I was going to tell you about. See this ruler right here? So my character is really big because I haven't been paying attention to the ruler because I'm just blocking stuff out. I will actually resize him to fit the ruler later. He's going to be very, very small. He's a little warble. He's going to be about this tall. So I'll scale him down to the ruler. The ruler is, it's kind of like, I built it in Maya at 2 meters tall, and then I put centimeters on it as, here, let's solo it. Okay, I put centimeters on here, but you can also think of them as millimeters, right? So this would be 10 millimeters, and the total height of the ruler is 20 millimeters. But in Maya, even though centimeters don't transfer to meters like this, but in Maya you can also use this as a 2 meter stick. So an average person is, what is it, 170 centimeters, something like that, which would be essentially this. You could use 17 as 170 centimeters in Maya. So if you're going to be doing like game characters, for example, they usually use meters in Maya as real world scale. So you can make the character, an average character, you know, however many centimeters tall you want him to be, and line him up with this. But you also, these tick marks on this ruler are kind of fat. They're not very precise. So what I've also done is I've made the floor, if you turn on the floor, might be hard to see here, but the floor has these tick marks. The grid also lines up to the tick marks on the ruler. So the grid is actually set up in centimeters as well. And I've also set up the Transpose tool to be set up in millimeters as well. So if I grab the Gizmo and turn it off right here and turn the Transpose tool on, and if I grab here and I pull it, let's say up to about, let's see, 10, right? Is it 10? Yeah. So then you'll get the precise little millimeters inside here. See those little orange ticks? Let me go in here closer, but these big orange ticks, each one of those is a millimeter. So 5 to this point, 10 to this point. So you can use the Transpose tool inside of here to measure like a precise 3mm hole in your toy or something like that. So that would be, that's why I set this ruler up. And I set it up to transfer so you can export out of ZBrush to Maya and back. But also know that under the export, I set the export scale to 100. That means it will scale itself up 100 times when it exports out of here, which is good for anything that works in meters on the other side. So like Maya, if you have it set up for meters and you export it, it's going to be the proper scale. So if it's coming into your other program not at the proper scale, you can mess with this scale right here. You can try 1, 10, 100, those increments to try. 1000, it will scale it up or down based on that export number. Does that make sense? So Doug, stop speaking in metrics. I know, right? Yeah, I'm from the US and we don't use metrics for some asinine reason. Don't get me started. I have no idea. But there you go. Boom. That's what we did. This is exactly the ruler. Well, it's not exactly. It's a very similar ruler to the one I built when we worked on Infinity, and that's how we would measure the characters. So on Infinity, what we would do is I had a ring, the base ring of these guys right here. I would have this base ring already set to the scale of this ruler. So as long as you would scale the character to that ring would be precisely accurate and be precisely printed. So no, Maya default is centimeters, I believe. So you have to go in there and you have to change it to meters, which anyway. So there you go. There's my little spiel on this ruler. And if you want this ruler, just go over to 3dcharacterworkshop.com. There's a little bar. Here, I'll just show you. There's a little bar across the top. So right here, this is my video. Right here, this little bar, just click on that and you can get it right here. So there you go. I don't know, or if you try to exit, it'll pop this thing up. So you get my brushes. You can do that too. All right. Have fun with it. Okay, let's start closing the mouth and working on his face, hide the floor. We're at about an hour and a half for blocking this guy out. Chiclet teeth, or how do you build them another way for straight teeth? Yeah, honestly, I just pull in spheres and then squish them into place. You know, same with these teeth that he has right here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll just probably use the appendage brush because it's a long tapered sphere, and I'll just kind of, same with the claws, I'll just put them into place and kind of hook them like they have this hook on them. I'll just do them like that and just make one of them and then duplicate it all around. Same with the teeth, I'll make one tooth and then duplicate it all around. That's what I'll do when I get there eventually. Okay, so now that we have this, let's start. I don't want to close his mouth just yet because I want to combine him. Now, the reason I'm combining him before I put his claws and his teeth and his nose in there is because all of those things I want to be separate objects eventually. So you're saying my audio's a bit behind on Twitch? Oh, yeah, Twitch is faster, and like Facebook and YouTube they're a few seconds behind. But my voice might be a little off. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, combine him into a Megazord. Yes. Like Voltron, right? Okay, I just want to double check everything. I'm going to give him some ankles first with this shape. Just going to pull out some ankles. And push this in. and I'll adjust them later, but just wanted to get him in there. Then his ankles are super skinny. Like, yeah, they come down here, and his calves are very punched. Audio's fine? Okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, just Facebook and YouTube get delayed a little bit. So if you ask me a question, I don't answer for like 30 seconds, that's why. Okay. Now I also want to punch the forearm a little bit. To match, and then his bicep. And I'll typically add a shoulder mass, but I think I'm going to build that up after the fact on this guy. I don't know why. I'm just going to try it that way. Okay, and then let's get his tail on, I guess, before audio warble. Yep, the warble's in the audio. Okay. I usually just do tails straight out until later. Then you can use the snake hook brush, pull it out to a point. Sometimes it's tricky to get the right angle. You can kind of, yeah, see, gosh dang it. $296, we're so close. I just turned on dynamic subdivisions. Might slow me down. Yeah, turn it off. Okay, let's check the density. Yeah, see, it's getting kind of shredded down here. You know, one thing you could do if you already have your density set up like this, you can always take it into another subtool, subdivide it, get rid of that lower subdivision level, and then merge it back in. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do want to snake hook. All right, I'm gonna duplicate this again because I do want to Zremesh it at this point. Okay, let's try it again. Hey, the grubber. Okay, here we go. Yeah, multiple accounts, right? Let's get it to 300. Okay, let's try. Let's see, I gotta get it to home, reset it, remesh by Zremesher. Oh, before I do that though, I do want to apply the dynamic subdivisions because that'll just give a smoother surface for the Zremesher to work, but it will take a little bit longer. And I do want to save it before I do this too. I usually save things before I do anything major, because that's a good time when it, like, you know, sometimes it'll crash, and when it crashes, it usually does it when you're doing something major like this. Oh, okay, I got to delete these. I'm going to go down one, delete lower and higher. So then we're like this, okay? One thing you can do with this now is you can say not keep groups. Well, you can do keep groups, but you can also do, it's not going to, keep groups isn't going to matter because it's just going to keep objects, and each object is in its own group already. So you don't want to hit keep groups at this time because it doesn't matter. It's going to keep them anyway. But you can see these buttons called half, same, and double right here. Well, say I want to keep the same poly count is what's happening here. I can hit same and then hit Zremesher, and it's just going to keep the same poly count and do the Zremesh. Sometimes that will give you a better and faster result. But this gave me a really good result, but it's kind of high. You know, it's kind of, you can see it reworked that tail really nice. It kept the ears okay, and it kept the ring around the mouth. Those are the things I'm looking for. Okay, but it's a high density because I hit same. Now what you can do is you can hit half, and then hit it again. And what that's going to do is it's going to essentially cut the poly count in half. So it'll keep that really nice Zremesh, but it'll cut it in half. And then I can just keep hitting it and going down. And each time I hit it, it's going to be faster, but it'll keep that nice flow. See that? Hit it again. Keeps getting less and less until it gets to a point, which is about here, is where we want it. So there we go. Except for that last one, I need to keep symmetry on. I'm going to do it one more time with symmetry turned on. There we go. He'll get a nose eventually. Not right now. You're like Peanut Gallery. Give him a nose! Eventually. He'll get a nose eventually. Okay. The reason I'm not right now is because it's a separate material. I like to keep it separate. I don't... Same with the horns, the teeth, the claws, all of that stuff are separate materials. I keep them in separate subtools. And sometimes when you Zremesh, it likes to shrink the... See how the fingers are narrower, smaller? So they got shrunk. And what in the world happened here again? Okay. See these two items? These, I don't know where these came from. These flat... See these two flat things? Really weird. Okay, so I'm gonna delete those. Sometimes it makes some flat things. Anyway, so to bring the volume back, all you need to do is go to deformation and just inflate slightly. Just inflate him a little bit back to where he was before. I'm just looking at the fingers. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Okay, so now we got him where we want him. The flat droids we're looking at. Yeah, what are those rogue pieces in there? Okay, so now we have him where we want him. We can save him again. Just if we ever need to go back to this point, let's save him O2. Okay, now we can unionize him. Put him in the union. What we'll do is overtune. I have no idea. Really bizarre stuff. So anyway, it is what it is. Okay, we're gonna put him together now. So all the pieces, all the things that I want to be merged together, I'm going to merge together now, and all of the objects are the same or similar densities. So this should work pretty well. We'll see. 296. We cannot break that 300 barrier. Okay, let's now that we have this gizmo turned on, we need to center him in space. Hit the little gear and hit remesh by union. Then what you'll see is it sews everything together. See all these little stitches in between here? Works really nice. Stitches everything. So now he's all stitched together, which is good. Okay, just checking the feet, checking the tail. Looks like one of those like stitched together stuffed animals. Really cool. Now what we can do is we want to accept this. So the gear's kind of hard to see. See how it's in here? Click on this and hit accept. Now we have him stitched together. Yep, it just takes a lot of practice. This is, I mean, I'm old guy. I've been doing art for a long, long time, and I've been doing ZBrush for, I don't even know, like 7 or 8 years, something like that. And I've been doing games for 18, 19 years. So this isn't, yeah, it just takes practice, man. You'll get there. Okay. So now that we have this, we can Zremesh this. So because the stitching is not very sculptable at this point. You can't really sculpt on here. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to duplicate it. Every time I do something new, I duplicate my mesh. That way I can always go back to it if I ever need to, but just don't forget to hide it. Let's turn on Activate Symmetry. And then let's Zremesh this. Now I'm going to try and have keep groups turned on, but most of the time it doesn't work very well. But I just kind of like to have them around. I don't even use the groups, but sometimes I like to experiment to see if I can get Zremesher to behave like I want it to. But specifically when it gets to hands, it just does not like to follow the geometry. So we're going to try it. I'm going to hit keep groups, turn off half. I'm going to crank this to about a 12, 13 or so, maybe even 15. We'll see. Hit Zremesher with keep groups turned on, and we'll see what happens. All right. So this is what it does, and this is what I'm talking about. See what it did to the toe down in here? Did some really weird things. And this finger, really weird things. That's not what I want. So I'm going to back out, turn off keep groups, and then try it again. I'm going to try it at 15. Here we go. I'm like mid-age, I guess. I don't know what you want to call me. I'm 47, if you can believe it. I'm a grandpa. I'm 47. Okay, much better. You can see it did much better right in here. Kept the toes together. But now I need to come in here and smooth these things out. So would you normally be the Dynamesh Phase? Yes, this would be Dynamesh. Your dad's age, thanks. I've been around a little bit. Okay, I'm smoothing this guy. So yeah, at this stage, you just kind of come in here and smooth things out. Oh, thanks. I won't say anything. That's funny. I'm just kind of smoothing out all of these connection points. Now, some of them you want to keep, like here, but down under here you can smooth them out, so the tail. And use the alternate smooth method, which is while you're holding down Shift to smooth, you let go, and it will spread the geometry out across the model a little better. Bill, I'm not far behind, man. It's never too late to learn either. I'll be learning till the day I die. I always say that, which is true. Never too late to start. Fluffy, or do you have to learn it through drawing and stuff? Yeah, you can learn anatomy from doing ZBrush, but you need to learn anatomy while you are... Did I stitch? You need to know anatomy while you're sculpting. So you just study anatomy while you're doing it. It's an art form, so it's just the same thing. It's just another medium, right? It's sculpting. So you unable to record brushstrokes. What? I don't know what that means. Why is it trying to record? Maybe too much history? Hold on, I gotta save this. It's being weird. I'm gonna have to restart ZBrush here in a minute. Or now, let me switch to a different brush. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset this by clicking on my start project again and loading it up. Seeing if it still does it. Essentially what that's going to do is that's going to get rid of the history. Nope, I'm going to have to restart ZBrush. All right. Sorry guys, 1 second. I don't want you to record brush strokes. There we go. Horizon Zero Dawn background. Well, it's not stupid questions. So if you can't draw to save your life, that doesn't matter. It's all about your passion and wanting to learn, and then you just you know, learn it as you go. Okay, ZBrush is opening up here. Hopefully, there we go. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is one of my favorite games. Load tool, Warble 3. Yeah, we're back. Okay, let's load our image again. Where is he? Reference. There he is. Okay. Now click it. Put it up here. Grab intensity. Adjust it. There we go. Opacity. Size. Stick them in the corner. There we go. Okay. Now make sure turn off spotlight projection. We're back in business. So if ZBrush is ever acting weird on you, just save your Z tool and do that. Just load up a start project, load your Z tool into it, and you're off to the races. Yeah, it's not the tool that makes you a better artist, man. That's why a lot of people are like, what brush did you use? It's not the brush, it's the skill behind the brush. I mean, for example, like the guy over at Villafane Studios, go check out his sculpted pumpkins. He's sculpting pumpkins, and it doesn't matter if you're, you know, good at drawing or whatever. It's just a matter of skill, and knowing the anatomy is, you just know the anatomy. It's in your arsenal, if you will. Once you memorize it or know it, learn it, then you have it. It doesn't matter if you're a sculptor or a painter, draftsman, whatever you want. That's just the medium. Okay. I want to give him a fatter neck. Right? I'm sure you've seen those, Caitlin. They're incredible. Incredible. That guy is on a different level. And what is her name? Susan. All right, Mosin, you can't have that attitude, man. That's the wrong attitude. You can't. You gotta change your outlook first and say, I'm gonna be. There's some people that just start to learn and they're good in 6 months to a year, and then you just keep getting better from there. Smoothing out these transitions here. Would you say human anatomy is most important so that you can design creatures from that? Yes. Seems like anatomy rules are different for every single thing. No, not necessarily. They can be exaggerated differently, but all of the landmarks are still similar. They're still the same. Like, I don't know, a calf lives where a calf lives, no matter what creature it's on, you know? I guess when you start getting into some of those crazy monsters that like Ashley designs, that's when you can argue, you know, sure you can twist anatomy beyond what's normal, but she's still basing all of her ideas on actual anatomy. Same with this guy, right? He's got this stomach that I'm working on. This is where his stomach would be. This is where his rib cage would be. You know, his arms have proportion to them, and his shoulder to his elbow to his wrist. I'm thinking about proportion and anatomy when I'm laying this stuff out. I'm not just kind of doing it willy-nilly, you know? Are you gonna, I don't know what you said. How long are you gonna be on? I don't know what those words are. Oh, going to be on? It's like decipher. I got to decipher it. I will be on for another 10 minutes, actually. Yes, you should do this for yourself first and for money second. For sure. The money is nice, but you have to be good enough to earn. You have to be good enough for the, you know, the people that want this kind of work to hire you, I guess. Okay, I need to give this guy some knuckles. Because in the end, the people that hire you, they're just looking for some stuff, like they came up with an idea and they just want it to be done. They just want to hire somebody to model an object. Like right now, I'm doing a little bit of freelance, and I'm doing it for like a golf company, and they're wanting 3D trophies that have characters on them. And that's, you know, it's not going into a game. It's just 3D modeling can go so many different places. Okay. And then this back here is a little fat. I'm just in the tweaking stages. Now let's get his mouth to where it needs to be. Nick, you can if you have it in your head. If you have anatomy in your head and the knowledge behind it. So I guess you're pulling the reference out of your previous knowledge, you know? But yeah, you can sculpt something without a reference, but it's much better to have a reference, for sure. Especially starting out, because you don't have that knowledge starting out. So it's best to sculpt with reference. Also, typically in the gaming industry or modeling in general, you hardly ever model without a reference. There are very few jobs that ask you to come up with a design on your own on the fly. They exist, but they're few and far between. $315, we hit it, you guys, we hit it. 315 people watching me live right now. Thank you, everyone. Oh my goodness, that's a huge milestone. Huge milestone. I was averaging 200 for quite a few weeks, which was fantastic, but now we've hit 3. Unreal. Okay. I'm going to start kind of getting his lips into place and his mouth closed. And he is looking up. I need to grab his whole head and bring it down. Yeah, Nick, that dude, yeah, don't get me wrong. Reference is a necessity for sure to build anything. I don't mean to say otherwise. Reference is absolutely important. Okay. There we go. Overtune, I think so. Let me get clearance on that. I'll try. Fluffy, do I often use the see-through feature in ZBrush? Are you talking about like transparency, like this? Are you talking about making my reference have opacity or transparency? Because I use both. Like I'm going to be moving the eyes in just a moment, and I'll be turning this transparency on so I can see where they live in his head, for sure. Okay. The UI transparency, like the reference. Oh, not really. No, occasionally I will. You're talking about like this opacity and then putting it in front of your guy to check proportions. I will occasionally, but not very often, just once in a while. And the reason why is because the reference isn't always a perfect match for what you're sculpting. You're trying to sculpt the feel of it. You want it to get as exact as possible, but sometimes it's like rotoscoping, if you know what rotoscoping is in animation, where they will actually animate frame per frame of real life action, and you can always tell that it's been rotoscoped. And that's kind of very similar when you're trying to match something one for one in real life. There's no kind of design behind it, if that makes sense. So you just need to watch out for that. But it's better to try and get the feel of the thing rather than exactly one for one. And you can pull in several references. That's what I've been doing on my last, like my Halloween streams when I did the witch and the vampire. I had reference on my other screen, but it was just a various, you know, different vampires and stuff. It wasn't one particular one. I was just kind of loosely based on, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, tracing, there's no shame in tracing as long as you're not putting it in your portfolio saying, hey, I did this thing. Yeah, tracing's fine to learn how things work. But you need to also know why it's doing what it's doing rather than just, you know, tracing it in general. Let me give him a bit of a back of his arm. Tricep here. Okay. Let's close. I'm going to close his mouth for now because I want to see what it looks like closed. And just kind of get that overlap working well before I open it back up. There we go. Let's get his eyes back in place. I worked on this game called Jabberwocky back when I was at Avalanche. And this guy reminds me a lot of Jabberwocky, his design. Blur Studios, if you guys know who Blur Studios, they did the trailer for it. And it was so cool. I was so excited for it. His thumb is too long. Okay, eyes. I get distracted when I see things that need to be fixed. So I'll turn on transparency here. This is another way to do it. And stick his eyes into place. Hey, is Steven here? I just saw Smartest. Hey, what's up, man? We would often get concept art that was traced from various comics. Really? Interesting. Observing is a tricky part. Learning why something looks as it does. I think that is it, right? That's like, as an artist, that's what you do. Is the better you can interpret something, and the better you can like see what's really happening, and then interpret it, and then put it down either in a painting or a drawing or a sculpt. That is really the end job of an artist. And you know, and then you put the other ingredients in there like design and anatomy and all that kind of stuff on top of it. But it's all getting to that point, you know, what's really happening. For sure, for sure. How's it going, Steven? You remember Jabberwocky? Yep. This guy totally reminds me of Jabberwocky. All right. Yeah, I'm doing good. I need to message you after this, man. I need to get you taken care of. Yeah, I was just telling everybody that I was just showing them the end sculpt, this guy. So smartest is Steven, and he helped me key this guy. Super cool. I got to get him painted. All right, let's see. Just gonna make his head a little bigger. Hey, Steven, are you going to CTN? Did I ask you that? Go. I do want his ears back a little further. I'm talking to myself. Sean, yeah, I will. I'll probably work on this guy until he's done on the stream. I don't know how long it'll take. When I say done, I mean the high res done. Thanks, Night Shadow. Yep, I'm about to wrap it up for the day. Yeah, Steven, that'd be awesome. I'm just doing a few more things here. I'm going to add his little nose really quick. All right, take care, Sean. Thanks for hanging out. Dude, I still can't believe we have 300 people today. That's awesome. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. There, how about that little nose? Done. Or this one. Done. Looks like a bat now. Okay, let's, I'm going to split it off into its own. Yeah, it makes me not want to stop. We got 300 people. Jeez. I hope you guys are sculpting along with me, doing your own thing. Or on your lunch break. Super cool. Hey, Watching Al, how you doing? All right. You've been rendering. Ah, rendering. Ugh. This guy. He's turning out all right. Oh no. Rendering will do that. Okay. Need enough space in here to be able to put, see these little, the muscle that goes across from your nose and down around your cheek. I gotta make enough room for that. The ogres and the gummy bear cartoons, totally. Yeah, there's a lot. He's very typical monstery, right? I kind of want him cute, mischievous, but he's a monster. He'll be about like this big, you know, like kind of a monster in the machine. All right. All right, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Give him some browse locations. Kind of come down like this. Kind of looks like a bulldog or something too. It's fun. Get his eyes inset. We'll work on this. This is probably the area that I'll use Sculptress Pro. I'm just using the detail brush to kind of pinch, or not pinch, but push. So the detail brush pushes and the pinch brush pinches. So what does that mean exactly? The detail brush is actually offsetting the geometry either in or out without pulling the geometry together. And the pinch brush will just pull it all while pushing down a little bit or pulling it out. Watching out, that's mostly me too. So don't be too sad about that. Okay. Okay, I kind of want his tail to be more stumpy. Stumpier tail. Yeah, I typically use it in the face because that's where the tertiary details are. Let me crank this smooth up and just really get it. Got the warbles in his tail. Look at those warbles. Warbles in the warble. All right, and that's why, because it's pretty dense, this tail is. And then since I added some volume to his shoulders, the density in his shoulders are decreasing. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna stop at this point. This is a great stopping point. So I apologize for those of you just showing up, but let's save this to here. Warble 3. Awesome, guys. Well, again, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been fun. Sorry, sorry, Tin Kimmy. Wipeout, I love to do stylized fur, so it's basically just using a stylized fur brush. Check out Bryce LaVille St. Martin if you want to see some stylized fur. Anyway, yeah, thanks guys for joining me. Thank you very much, Pixelogic, for having me here today. And as always, if you love or if you like my brushes and this user interface, if you want to try it out for yourself, you can always check out 3dcharacterworkshop.com. I give away these brushes, this user interface, and my ruler file for free. And you can just follow along with me with the same stuff. So anyway, go check it out. Also, my course is still open for enrollment. I teach an online course right now. If you go over to 3dcharacterworkshop.com, you'll see the link. You can find out all the information all about it. I also have a video talking about it over there. And yeah, there's a ton of students in there. I think I just cleared 700 students in there. Crazy, crazy. And we have 300 people watching me today. That just blows my mind. I never thought I would get to that point. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Yeah, blocking out characters. I teach you how to do this exact thing inside the course. But it also goes on beyond this. Yes, inside the course I do critique sessions. I do student feedbacks, live videos. I do animated GIF feedbacks so you can see the before and the after, stuff like that inside the course. So anyway, I will be going to CTN this year. So if you're at CTN, I think that's in November, the end of next month. So if you're going there, I'll see you there. Anyway, same time next Monday. We'll see you at, what is it? Noon Pacific time. So, yep. Thanks, Overtune. Thanks, you guys. Have a great week, and we'll catch you on the flip.